What's good, YouTube? It all started with this playmat, the Gem Senjo, as their first two-player playmat. And the next introduction to the series is insane, as something that we have not seen in so long. So amazing. What am I talking about? You may already be insanely interested by the front of this playmat. You notice this fabric's very, very different. Unlike the fuzzy, kind of furry mat, it looks almost stitched, right? But it's so soft to feel. If you just leave your hand there, it's actually insane. And the inking, just as insane to match. I'll flip that over in a second for you to see. This mat's amazing, but what's truly amazing, going to blow your mind, the back is cloth. We have not seen this in so long. The entire back is a white, fresh, finished cloth. Now, for those of you that don't collect playmats in general, some of the best, most well-regarded mats in all of the history of cloth mats have cloth backs, and this just does not exist anymore. It's insane. The quality of this mat is insane. The feel of it is insane. If I had to give a description relatable to you guys, I would say maybe because it's not broken in. I don't know. You know, Spellgrounds, they have what's called a V1 and a V2. I think this is somewhere in between that. It's not as amazing as V1. I don't think there's ever going to be a playmat that compares to that directly. But this is insane. And it is so soft to the touch. I feel like the stitching, I don't know how to describe it. Obviously, there's no mark being left by my finger here. There's no difference in the pattern. I'm floored. They outdid themselves. It's actually insane. Here, I'll go ahead and get you this view of the blue eyes and check it out. Wow. So they've left large play areas on both sides with a design that isn't interrupted too much for play. If you're wondering about, sorry if my volume's getting weird there, I'm using a different camera than usual. If you're wondering about sliding, works just fine. These are those Ultra Pro sleeves that I reviewed. So they are a matte sleeve. I know I mispronounced that in a previous video, but you see I'm doing this just actually one-handed and not even that stable, but it slides just fine. It's actually insane. I'm floored. I could not have come home to a better surprise from regionals than this. And I knew I was getting a cloth back mat. I had to keep it quiet. I had the pictures, wasn't allowed to release them. I didn't imagine the feel would be this insanely sick. I'm amazed. It actually does. It actually does seem to get a kind of whip. Even still. I'm just noticing that. This is my first impression. I just opened this package, looked at it. So that's kind of interesting. I wonder how that'll wear into the fabric over time, considering it's so tightly knit. If it'll end up like this over time. I don't think so. It feels amazing. It's nothing like the originals. I don't know how to describe it to where I can compare. It's so soft still. It almost... It's not, leathery at all. It almost has a combination of plush and leathery feel, though. But that's not the actual texture of it. Yet, you can see it's actual cloth. It's not like it is pleather, but the stitching almost gives it that feel, yet if you leave your hand there, it's just so insanely soft. And then, of course, the back helps give even more of a plush feel from the top. So this is a 1 of 15 special limited edition playmat that will be given out, I believe, and reviewed by several other tubers, and they may have different opinions on it. I've always been floored by Gem. I approached them first, game-ending playmats, And I said, I would love to do a review for you guys. I will be brutally honest, but I really like your design. Did it. Floored by their prototype, and this is my second prototype ever I've received from them, and I could not be happier. Wow. Wow. I'm in shock. I don't know how this ink will last either. Like I said, this is all prototype technology. They've just made this. This is for their first reviews. He did a great job. I'm actually insanely stoked. So you see the ink kind of has a different, you can see glare on it. I do wonder how that'll hang up over time with such a tight-knit fabric. I don't know the answer because nothing like this has ever been made. Ever. That I've ever seen. It's definitely a new step in cloth playmats. It feels amazing. I don't know if you can tell. It's just, it's tight-knit, but then it has the cutting, the passion. Like, not the passion, the padding. But there's a ton of passion, of course, too. But the padding from this is insane. What do you guys think about a playmat like this existing now? It hasn't been done in so long. Everything, like, for a long time has had this mesh back, and people kind of gave up on this. I think it's probably more expensive to produce this. People just tend not to be able to do it to get the stitching right, mayhaps. And on top of this, Jim has always had the best cut playmats, in my opinion, for a very long time. Look at that. Not a single bit of the stuff coming out from the edges on the first cut. Look how clean and clear that is. That's something I'm actually really proud of Jim for doing. They've always had the cut. Like, look at this. Brand new. We'll see how it holds up over time. Maybe I'll do a review on it later, like, of an overtime thing. But this is, again, a prototype. It's just something that they made. That's not my phone. I swear I don't do that to phones. I've always been a Samsung guy. But yeah, look at that clean edge. That's insane. On cloth back. Something that no one else has been doing. Everyone's gone to mesh, and that's it. This little fray right here is the only imperfection. And I might have just done that flipping it around several times. But that's the only imperfection on the entire edging of a brand new with cloth playmat. Like, cloth back. I'm sorry, my words just aren't coming out right now. I've done an entire regional stream, and I just got this. Brandon Chavez, you get a personal shout out here, owner of Jim. You're going places other people just aren't willing to go, maybe on price or maybe on ability. But people have begged and asked for and pleaded for anything like this to come out for years, and you finally gave it to them. And this already was a huge milestone and improvement on cloth playmats. Everybody who has their Senjo has told me how much they like it, almost more than any other mat. People who have had their gyms have told me how much they like it more than any other mat. Or they've had some complaints, like some cases the painting flaked off. I've been using this for a while now. As you see, my paint is still almost there how the original was. There's like creasing within the fabric, which is to be expected with these kinds of backs, I suppose. But I've been using this pretty heavily, and for that to be all, the little creasing, I'm not upset. But I suppose a customer who paid secondhand retail might be, since they're so rare. Only 100 some odd of these. I can't even imagine. This is the future. It has to be. If this can hold up, if this doesn't bubble off of what its back is, if this ink, I hate to say it, I almost don't care about the ink right now. This is insane, just having the mat with the back. But I really hope this ink, because it's so thick, and I have to wonder how it'll hold up over time with how it's put on. But I almost don't care. I would love a design, of course, especially this amazing design, this amazing piece of art. But the mat itself, the concept of this mat itself, It floored me. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. I've tried to go slower over this mat so that you guys can see it more clearly, so that you guys can see everything. I probably will do future mat reviews in the same result, going over the edges that carefully, and I'm sorry, I'm so excited. This is insane. This is a huge step forward, everyone. Thanks for watching.